So you finally come to the resolution that you want to start a podcast. You've listened to so many while on car rides, working out, or doing whatever, and you finally came to a realization that, hey, this is something that I want to do. I've listened to so many, I think I can do it, I want to get started, but you just don't know how. Well, I'm going to show you how to do that in this video. So a little bit about me. My name is Yash Pika. I am the creator / co-host of the Premier Pod, a weekly soccer podcast focused on the Premier League that I started in the August of 2018. I've been making weekly episodes since, and from that time I've learned a lot of the ins and outs about podcasting, and I just kind of realized like how simple it is and some of the roadblocks that a lot of people face in the beginning, and I want to share that with you, and hopefully this video will help you get started on your podcasting journey. Step number one, you need to find a topic. That's simple enough, but it's very important. You need to know what you want to talk about, and I would recommend that you pick a topic that you're super passionate about, because unlike video and such, with podcasting, people are only listening to you through their ears while on car rides, while working out, or doing whatever, doing any type of activity. And they need to know they can trust you and trust your voice. And in order for them to trust you, you have to be passionate about what you're talking about. If you're not passionate about what you're talking about, people can look through that and hear through that very easily, and they'll just cut off your podcast. Even if it's not the best sounding quality, if you do not sound sure of what you're talking about, or you're not passionate about what you are talking about or the topic you want to be talking about, then people won't listen. So step number one is the most important part. Step number two, you need to determine if you are going to do a solo show or you're going to have a co-host. For me, I've been having a co-host since my second episode. I originally started my podcast as doing a solo show, but I think the benefits of having a co-host are great because you can create like that back and forth banter that a lot of podcasts have, and it's really fun just to have one of your buddies or someone that you can trust to have alongside you during this podcasting journey, because if you find a good partner, they can help keep you motivated and help keep you on schedule, because I can tell you there have been some weeks where I just didn't feel like going at it, and having that co-host there to kind of just bring you on and just, keep that motivation, sort of like a workout buddy. If you have a workout partner with you, it kind of helps bring the motivation and helps you get there week in and week out to do the work, and that's the same for podcasting. But if you are going the solo route, it's important that you kind of know what you want to talk about, outline your show, but also you have to determine when are you going to have guests, how you're going to interview them and such. So I would recommend that you get a co-host because it's going to make your life a little bit easier. But if you are going the solo, just know that it's going to require a little bit more work on your end just to make sure the topic and the episodes are entertaining. Step number three, you need to have something to record your voice on. Whether this is a phone, a laptop, or a mic, you just need to have something to start off with. When you start off with, it's okay to be using a laptop mic, one of the mics on your internal laptop or on your phone. They do a decent job to get you started, but I think eventually when you keep making episodes, you keep making weekly episodes and such, and you start growing a little bit, I think it's well worth the investment of picking up a external microphone. One that I use is actually right here. I will bring it out right here. It is the Audio-Technica ATR2100-USB microphone. I use this microphone. I picked it up. It was pretty cheap. It was like 60, 70 bucks on Amazon. And the one thing I really like about it is that with microphones, you'll realize when you start researching is that there are two types. You can buy a USB type microphone or an XLR microphone. Obviously the higher end microphones like the Shure SMB70, the stuff that very professional podcasters use, will all have XLR cables because you can get a much higher quality audio from it. But when you're starting out, USB will get the job done. They're cheaper microphones most of the time, but a lot of people will recommend the Blue Yeti USB microphone. I don't think that is worth the investment because for the price point, it's like 122 bucks and it's only a USB microphone, and it's really heavy. I think this Audio-Technica mic is great because it's a USB and it also has an XLR input. So whenever you want to upgrade to an audio interface, which I'm planning to do, which is one of those Scarlett 20i USB hubs or whatever, you can plug the XLR cable into that and into the microphone, and you can get a better sounding quality from that. So I would recommend picking up the Audio-Technica just because of the versatility and for the price point, which was 60, 70 bucks. You can't really beat it. Step number four, you need audio editing software. You need something to just edit your voice on once you've recorded it. I personally use right now, I've been using Adobe Audition. However, I don't recommend it because the Adobe Cloud Suite is super expensive, and I think there are plenty of free and better options out there. So for some of the free options you can use if you're on Windows or Mac, it's Audacity. It's super popular. There's tons of YouTube videos on how to do, on tutorials on how to use the software and such. I actually used that in the beginning until I upgraded to the Audition. But there's also, if you're on Mac, there's obviously GarageBand, which is free, and then you can use Logic Pro if you wanted to spend, I believe it's $49 or $50 upfront price, one-time fee for that. But I use GarageBand for a good chunk of time as well. It worked very well. It's super intuitive, very easy to use. So there are a couple free options out there for you. Just pick which one you think is the best one for you. Step number 5, you need to find a host to host your podcast. The interesting thing about podcasts is that you can't actually directly upload your podcast to Spotify, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts and such. You need to upload your podcast to a host. I personally use Podbean because I only pay $100 a year and it gives me unlimited upload space. It has analytics and such, and it's super easy to use. But you need to find that host, and what you do is you upload the podcast on there, and then the podcasting host will have an RSS feed, and that RSS feed gets transferred and directed to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts and stuff, and that's how your podcast will show up on those platforms and such. So you need to find a podcasting host. There are tons out there, like I said, but there has been one that has actually come up in recent years that a lot of people have been using. I think it's a super cool and super easy way to get started. It's called Anchor. It's an app on your iPhone that you can download, and iPhone and iPad, I believe. And I know a couple people that use it. And it's super easy to use because all you have to do is literally open up the app, record, and once you get done recording on your phone or iPad, the Anchor will just directly upload that and do all the work for you in terms of submitting your RSS feed to all the different platforms, and then your podcast is up on all the popular platforms. So if you want a super easy, no friction way of just uploading your podcast out there, I think Anchor FM is good. Step number 6, just get started. Anything that you have seen in this video, I've been harping on the point of just getting started is the most important step. I know for me, I talked about starting a podcast during that 2018 summer so much. I was like, I want to start a Premier League podcast. I want to do it. And then finally, I think a week before school started, I just opened up my laptop, had a very rough outline of a script that I wanted to use, and I just talked for 25 minutes. It was bad. It sounded terrible. I was very unconfident. I didn't have a lot of punctuation, a lot of power in my speech, but it just got me started. And then eventually what you'll realize with a lot of these content creation stuff is that with podcasts, YouTube videos, or anything, once you take that first step, then you can start building up the momentum of slowly upgrading your gear, slowly upgrading your gear, your audio editing skills, your hosting skills, your talking skills. All of that will slowly come, but that will only come if you give yourself repetition and time. There's no substitute, unfortunately, for hard work and just putting in the time to learning about your podcasting, making it better. There's no substitute for the hard work and the time that you need to put in. So the most important thing, just get started. You can literally take out your phone, open up Anchor, and just get started and record your podcast, and then figure it out from there. So there you have it. Those are the 6 steps you need to help you start a podcast in 2021. So if you found the video helpful, I would appreciate it if you would smash the like button down below and tell YouTube what's up. And also, if you find the other content on my channel helpful, I would definitely appreciate it if you could hit the subscribe button down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you.